it's likely that instead of being able to control the materials of the family through object styles, that you'll want to assign specific materials to either the specific type or instance of this particular family. If I go back to the family and select, for example, the tabletop, there is a property called material. Currently, it is set to by category, which will be driven by the category or subcategory that the geometry is associated to. Hence why in the project it is associated to the material defined to the tabletop subcategory. I can change the material of this piece of geometry directly in the family editor. However, instead, I can associate the material to a parameter in order that I can change it inside the project. In order to do that, I select on this little icon or button to the right of the material property, and this allows me to associate this property to a parameter. If there are existing parameters, then Revit will allow me to select from an existing parameter. However, a parameter does not exist, so I can create a new parameter. I will create this as a family parameter and simply call it tabletop material. I then get the option of choosing whether it is type or instance. For this tabletop, I will set it as instance, and I can group the material or group the parameter under materials and finishes. Note that I cannot change the type of parameter because it needs to be a material type. And I can add a tooltip like so. So now that I clicked OK, I can now associate the material property to this newly created tabletop material. I can then multi-select the legs and the frame and select the associate family parameter, and I want to create a new parameter, and I will call this leg material, and I will set this to be a type parameter. Select OK, and then select OK to select the leg material. If I then go to my family types, I can see that I now have these two material parameters. The tabletop material has a default in brackets after, and this indicates that it is an instance parameter, and the fact that it says default indicates that whatever value is placed in the parameter value will be the default value that gets placed whenever an instance of this type is placed in the model. I won't assign any materials now, but I will select OK, and I will load the family back into the project and overwrite. So nothing has happened, because if I select the dining table family, I can see that the instance parameter for tabletop material is set to by category, and the type parameter for leg material is also set to by category. I'm just going to create a copy of this tabletop in order to demonstrate the difference between type and instance parameters once again. If I select this dining table family and select Edit Type. I'm going to change the leg material from that defined by category to a different material. And I'll just set it to a black render material, so that in shaded view I should expect to see it black. Click Apply, and because the parameter leg material is type based, it will update all instances of this type, i.e. these two instances here. However, if I select one instance, such as this table, and I can then associate this tabletop material to another parameter, say a teak wood. Because it is an instance parameter, it has only updated this individual instance. I will delete this instance here, and if I wanted to return the material parameters back to the material defined by the subcategory, I can select in the parameter, and in the bottom left here I can simply set by category, and this will revert it back to the material defined by the subcategory. So that is how to associate materials to family parameters and make them editable in the project.